Good morning and welcome. You're here with Brothers Forge Gaming, and right here we have Whipseey and the Lost Atlas, bringing you another Platinum Trophy guide for this one, guys. This is available as a download on the PlayStation Store for $5.99, I believe, and decent value. If you've played games like Kirby, you know, you might be right at home with this one. What we're going to do in this video, guys, we're going to break down the percentages, we're going to break down the different trophies, and we're going to show you how to do it. And I'm going to do my best to go through these levels and show you how to beat the bosses and do all that without taking any hits. I personally might not do them right now. It's kind of tough. You got to be in the zone, you got to get in there, you got to grind it out to achieve that. But I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on that. So I believe for your options, you're looking at just a little bit of audio adjustments and different languages. Let's see what kind of different languages we got here. Spanish, French, Italian, Dutch. Okay, so you've got these different ones here. Let's go back. Not too bad when you've got some different selections. Okay, I believe there is a little bit of story. Let's do a new game. As far as clearing this goes, I want to say there's 5 stages, and it just takes a little bit to be able to like beat the stages and the bosses, but to be able to go back and no-hit the bosses and not die and things like that, they're going to take a little bit more time. We're going to get into that. Let's check out some story. Okay, so for this one, we've got 1 platinum, 8 gold, 8 silver, and 5 bronze for a total of 22 trophies. For the purposes of numbering these and identifying these trophies, I'm going to number them 1 through 22, number 1 being the platinum. So basically the first 7 trophies you're going to get just from playing and beating the levels. Number 7 is for acrobat. It's swing with the whip. That's going to happen in the first level. Hover. You need to hover for 3 seconds. Use the enemies to bounce off their heads to hover, and I'll go over that here in a little bit. High tide. Jump on an enemy and make them fall into the water. I will cover that as well, but it's pretty self-explanatory. That will happen as you're playing through the game, pretty much. Now, number 10 is dedicated. It says clear all enemies in a level. So you're basically going to have to hunt down all the levels. I did that. I did level 1 for that. It was simple. There was nothing like hidden or anything like that. And then the next one, number 11, catch a ride. This is going to happen on the snow level. There are these giant enemies. It's kind of similar to Mario 3 when you go to the big world. I did enjoy that. Now this game does remind me a little bit more of like Mega Man in some parts than it does Mario, but I would say it's not a brutal platformer, but there are some tough, brutal spots in the game. And then if you are going for the Platinum Trophy, trying to do the no-hit, no-death run stuff is pretty tricky. Okay, so the next one, number 12, Whipmaster. Kill 50 enemies. That's going to happen as you're playing through the game. So basically, 1 through 12, it's going to happen playing through the game. With the exception of 10, you got to kind of go out of your way to do that one. The next one, No Chill. Clear any level without using a potion. That one's not too hard either. Just don't accidentally pick up a potion when you're playing through the level. And again, most of these and the no death and the no hit runs are going to come as you're going for the no damage runs on the bosses, because you're going to have to sit here and play these levels over and over again. Now, next one, let's see here. Untouchable. Clear any level without taking damage. Now that's what I'm getting at. So as you're kind of going for these last trophies, you're gonna get that. And then same with Immortal, number 15. Clear any level without dying. Those are going to go hand in hand with these last ones. Number 16, Pink Justice. Clear a boss without taking damage. Number 17, clear all bosses without taking damage. And then the last leg of these, 18 through 22, is beat each boss without dying. Now the tricky part about that is you can't... So you can die in the level, but once you enter the boss room, if you die, you have to do the level all over again. So it's you can't die and then beat them without taking a hit and without dying. you got to do that, you know, in the first go. So if you're down to 1 life or something right before the boss door, just kill yourself and you know, go into there at least with full life if you're trying to do, you know, clearing the bosses without dying. And you can kind of do these in any order as you see fit going. You can try to just kill the bosses without dying first, and then go back and try to do the no damage. Realistically, though, it's going to happen at the same time. You know, if you're getting in the flow of trying to get those trophies taken care of. But yeah, let's jump into that. You saw that little bit of story there at the beginning. So what you can do for hovering, 3 seconds, I think this is where I did that. Yeah, something like that should get you there. And then as far as knocking him in the water, I missed him. I don't think he's gonna go. Yep, something like that should get you the trophy. Okay, so you got those trophies handled right there. Bada bing, bada boom. Now if I was going after each of these enemies, now this part is tricky. I was having trouble on some of the ones where you have to double grab. I've found if you hold, so you jump with X, and then you grab with, or you know, you whip with square. So I found if you hold square down as you're going to make those jumps, it's rather helpful. I was having a hell of a time trying to. There's a couple levels, later levels, where you got a double whip, double swing, and it was frustrating me to no end. And there is quite a few spots like that in this game where you have to do some things, do some platforming spots that are tricky, and I'm hoping that I can handle this. Certain levels I might have to skip a spot if I can't. There's a spot in like level 3 where it is super frustrating, so hopefully I can handle that without skipping it and be able to show you that boss. But here is an example of the potion. So if you're trying to clear the level without using a potion, don't take one of those. Like I said, if you have extra lives, you can die before the boss fight to get full life if you're trying to do clearing without dying. But that's not going to help you with clearing a stage without dying, because you're going to be dead. So realistically, you could probably, if you were some kind of super master of the world of gaming, you could probably clear this in one spell run. All the trophies, I believe. I don't think they're, well, except for, no, you'd still kill 50 enemies. Why can't I make this jump? So yeah, so I guess this has the potential of clearing all of them in one run. I just don't see how that would be possible, but, you know, that's not to say it can't be done. Now, the one for clearing a stage without taking a hit, I was trying to do level 1, but as you see those electric kelpie things down there, oh yeah, they can be a real nuisance. So I think I did my run on level 2, but realistically, the last level, you're gonna be the last boss. No hitting, or you know, no damage running on the last boss is probably gonna be the hardest leg of this for you. And then you're gonna get to the point with that level where you're going to, oh man, I'm gonna die. Where you're going to, oh, he's gonna get me. Okay, so it starts from here. So there goes my no death run. Oh well. Just kidding. Am I already taking multiple hits? Oh man. This is what I'm saying, you gotta be dialed in to get these. Oh, I'm gonna die again. Oh man. Okay. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I'm gonna die in here again. Yep, okay. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so aside from all that dying right there, let's get that out of the way. That'll help me get to my next point. Those gems, you can get free guys from doing that if you're trying to collect them, but realistically, if you die early in the level like I just did, you might want to finish off your dudes, your, you know, remaining extra lives, so that you can start the level over, because there are checkpoints, but you know, once you get to a certain spot, if you lose all your lives, you have to start the level over. That's a short level. That was pretty ridiculous dying right there. But what I want to explain about this boss real quick before I get into it. This is probably the easiest boss to no hit, no damage, no death. There's two phases. The first phase he's just shooting bubbles. The second phase, shooting bubbles and electrifying. And then the second phase he's releasing two spawns that do the same thing he does. Or, well, I guess they don't shoot bubbles, but they follow you around and they electrify. The tricky part with that is if you're trying to clear the ads as he's making them, they do that electrify. It's kind of random, so my advice is to wait for them to do their electrify, and as soon as they're done, you kill both of them. That's gonna save you from getting that cheap hit at the last second when you're trying to clear it. And I like to wait for him to be moving in the other direction. He does give you warning, as you can see there, before he electrifies. I feel like when you're chasing him, you're more apt to run into him. So I like to whip him going the other direction. So there's an example of his ads that he spawns. And then I would, take him out after they do that. Or you can just let him follow you around. Might be easier just to do that, because he pretty much summons them as soon as you kill him, he pretty much summons them again. You do get some fair warning there. Alright, simple, so simple no hit on the boss. That would also count for your no death, even though I died multiple times right there in the beginning. Yeah. So let me think about this level. I don't know, I guess I was hoping there would be a spot to quickly die in case for whatever reason I die. Because that is what I like to do. But there's not, so let's see if I can get a free guy and clear it. And then this spot right here, a lot of this, I mean, if you've played old school games, it's all about proccing the enemies, getting them in the right positions to advance the screen or anything like that. And it's no different here. You gotta know, it's all about repetition, level, enemy recognition, things like that, old school gamers, you're gonna be right at home with this one. Like I mentioned earlier, if you guys have grew up playing, or you even maybe didn't grow up playing it, but you enjoy playing games like Kirby on the, the Nintendo. I played Kirby's, Dreamland on the Game Boy. Oh man, that was my, the one I grew up playing. I did play the NES one as well, but I actually never owned it. It is on the Mini, I think, so that's kind of cool. And then these guys are a pain in the butt. The electricity, man, it gets me. Run away. You can jump and hit those guys in the air. It's pretty easy. Again, it's all about just timing, repetition. I like how you can get life back there, and then of course there's a potion if I need it. Hey, what's up, whoever is joining in? How you doing this morning? Oh, frogs. These guys remind me of the frogs a little bit from Adventure Island. And also a game which we have a completed run of as well, Kid Nicky the Radical Ninja. That is a really tough platformer if you're into those kinds of games. See, this part trips me out too, because the water is kind of flowing and really messes with my eyes. See, and then, oh, almost took it. I found if you wait for them to do that electrifying thing, you can then, as they're doing it, you can jump and then, time the float. Because if you wait till after they stop, more than likely they're going to be going again before you can land on them. And this is the part I'm talking about, where these jumps, I was trying to just like jump whip, but realistically, if you hold the button, it should work out better. Let's see. So I think I figured that out. I was having the damnedest time with those things. And then, speaking of Kirby, this is right out of Kirby right here. The apple riding dudes. And you time it very similar. But yeah, I can't tell you how many times I died jumping at those things and the whip just not taking. Very frustrating. And then you'll notice a pattern with these guys. They start right there, and then they stop before they come back. They give you just a little bit of space to land in there. And then hopefully I don't die. Trying to do this part's tricky. I believe this is the level I did for doing the no damage level. But see, you only have a little bit of time, so you want to be on that with the timing, because they don't give you all that much space. Sometimes they end a little sooner. So see, that was pretty simple. But yeah, like I said, I was trying to do level 1, and it was, those damn kelp was just getting me. Oh, I should have paused before this boss. Okay, so this boss, he has 2 mechanics. He rolls back and forth, so you just got to watch out for that. But then in the second phase, he starts to summon an ad, or well, 2 ads. So that's where it gets tricky. And we're gonna go over that right now. I found it easiest. You just hang out, you hide up here, you wait for him to roll by. I could have floated over him. Oh yeah, he also shoots. That's right. Which makes it tricky if you're, once you start summoning the ads. So you basically just come in for the damage. And then you're gonna have to time that, because that's where you're gonna have to whip him once he starts summoning the ads, is right after the fire. Oh, see, I took damage. Dang it. And you can jump over him, but see, oh man, so there's the ads. I'll try to do that. I know I've already taken damage, but I'll show you the. So basically, what you would do, wait for him to clear the ads. So, and then this last one's where it's money. So you got to get in there and do that. And then you can, like I said, you can jump over him in the reverse, but it's just there's too many variables. So what you do is you wait for him. You pick a side. See, I screwed that up. I screwed that up. So what you'll do is you'll pick a side. So let's pick this side. So as soon as he rolls, and he'll even clear the ads for you. As soon as he rolls. Oh no, I didn't do it right. Well, there goes that. Okay, here. So let's start over. Let's do that. We're gonna pick a side. So once you get this timing down. And then, like I said, you could even do that if you want, but it's trickier. Usually the ads will go in one direction, so then let's pick this side. We'll let him just do his thing here, and then as soon as he rolls, you get in position where the ads are going to be. That one usually goes that way, not always. And then you can get in for 1 or 2 damage, and then you just go back over. Rather than trying to jump over him and go side to side, it's actually a little bit more confusing that way, to me anyway. But this is the extent of his phases, so you can just, that's basically how you're gonna handle that. It does take a little bit of time, so just be prepared to go up there. You got to hold up against the wall because of those dang hills. See, and that was an example of where he didn't, the ad didn't go the other way. And again, since I've already taken damage and I've already died on this boss, I would have to start this level over again if I wanted to actually get the trophy, which is a bummer. But the levels aren't too long, and once you get them down, it's not a big deal. Sorry, that's probably loud. So like I said, it just kind of takes some time to figure this out and just get used to the patterns. Nothing overly difficult. If if you're a fan of old school gaming, if you're a platformer at heart, you'll be right at home. None of this will be super challenging. It just, like I said, it's just going to take some getting used to, much like any game or anything of this nature. And there it is. So no hits. That's how you do it on that boss. Probably one of the, I don't know. It's kind of random, and then the timing. So I'd say that's one of the harder ones to no hit. This level right here is one of the hardest levels, and I'll show you why. And I'm hoping I can clear the spot, but I'm gonna have to reduce my. I wonder if you can die in here. Yes, you can. Okay, good to know. But so I'll show you a little trick here with resetting your life total. Okay. Of course. That damn hill, man. And then these like, freaking hate those kind of enemies, man. I don't know why they always get me. Oh, he's a jerk. Seriously, man. And the knockback is real. It's super irritating. Oh my gosh. And then these guys straight up out of Mario 3. I have been noticing quite a lot of indie games that are mimicking Mario 3 or even the Link to the Past. I mean, that seems to be a staple for these kinds of games, and it's unfortunate because there are a lot of clones. I like these guys. A lot of clones, you know, mimicking those, and then there's the mimickers of the mimickers. Is that a thing to say? I don't know. So you get a lot of content, right? But most of it is not even worth playing. But this game, this game isn't one of them. This is actually a decent game. The price is right, and you know, it's a playable game. You can get a platinum trophy, which is always a bonus if you're going for that kind of thing. It makes it, in a sense, you know, maybe you play this game for a couple hours, and you get some enjoyment out of it that way, and then you get a platinum on top of that. So I know they're just air, but it's an achievement. It's actually something I wish that you could do with the older gaming, because it's fun to beat the games, but once you start getting these trophies, it's addicting. I'm telling you. But it's something we've been doing recently too. We've been doing a little bit more challenges and different things like that. Oh man, these guys are easy, but they can get you. Doing like a Konami Code Friday, Easy's been doing some high score challenges on Kung Fu, Spy Hunter, different things like that. We're doing it old school, and you know, we're using a lot of some of these like trophy mechanics to kind of guide the parameters and things we're doing. It's like, okay, well, if you were to get a platinum on an old NES game, what would it take you to do? It would require you to beat it this certain way, and we're kind of thinking of it like that. So in a lot of ways, it's fun to adapt these old games, or you know, the old games with the new, using the new you know, like the trophy system, trying to go about that and doing that. So if you see our challenges, that's kind of what we're doing there, and then just old school high score fun is what we're doing there. Now this part, I might die a lot. So the jump trigger is pressure sensitive, and as soon as you accidentally like double click it, it takes you out of your height mechanic. So you got to be really careful. And I found that you got to get this guy going back. Oh, see, and if you hit him, you die. So you got to get him as he's heading back, because he sinks as you're going up. Oh, but see, I started the whip mechanic too soon right there, or I jumped too soon. This is, like I said, this is going to be a real pain in the butt. So he kind of launches you, and that's what you got to go for. But it's not easy. And then this. Oh, see, this is where it gets me, man. This is one of those parts. I think I've died here freaking like 1,000 times. Hopefully I don't have to redo the level, but we'll see. Because, you know, it's one of those things where you start dying, and the deaths, they come in bunches. But we made it. Lovely. Okay, so this guy's pretty straightforward. He has 2 phases. This and that. But he actually starts blocking in a later phase, and summoning a rather difficult to clear mud wall of sorts. I don't actually know if he can hit you that. I guess if you're standing right below it. So this is where he goes into this, and then that'll crush you. Okay, so you do not want to get caught behind that as an instant death. But if you're going for the no-hit run, oh, see, there it is. So there goes my no death on that guy, and that's the tricky part about this guy. So we're going for the no death, no damage. We just blew it right there. It jumped too soon. See that? You know, it's a timing issue. And then, as you can see, as his life's going down, is when it procs the different phases. So it's possible that you can time it to where, you know. And then of course he's blocking. I wonder if you could I might have just found a way to not even let him proc that other thing. Which would be very helpful, because that thing gets me a lot. So okay, so I just kind of found a way to get in his guard. You know, like I said, it's a timing thing. Whatever instance makes him start that second phase, if you can get it to the bar right before that, and then get in his guard like that, he won't even summon that wall. And like I said, that's the hardest part. of that fight is trying to jump over that wall. Okay, so there's a trophy for this, which is cool. You just get to ride these guys. Totally out of Mario. Mario 3, Mario Land, Mario World, all those goodnesses. Actually, Alex Kidd as well kind of reminds me of the block pattern. That's another great game. Sega Master, what an underrated system. So good. I'm just going to, you know, dog it so I can get 5 guys again. This level, I want to say it's relatively easy. There's a tricky part on this part with the train. And then I always jump the gun on that one, and that guy almost knocks me in the cliff, so I don't want to do that. These enemies, man, they get me every time. I hate these guys. Straight out of Mega Man or something. And then see, these guys with the pointy hats, I thought you couldn't jump on them, but I think you can. I think you can. No! And then they put those nice little pits right there. Oh, get out of there! Alright, at least I got a potion, but this guy wants to shoot missiles at me. And before you get to the boss fight, get good at clearing these missiles. You're gonna need to know how to do that, and I'll actually... Are you kidding me? I'll actually show you how to do that here at the boss. This boss fight is really easy once you figure it out. Even if you're not going for the no hit, no death, like this was probably the easiest boss before I did that. Oh no! And then another potion if you need it. The pacing on those potions is odd in some of these levels. You're like, okay, there's 2 potions in a row, and then there's one level that like doesn't even have a potion at all, which would have been nice. Okay, so on this one, you want to get ahead, like many shooters. You want to be ahead of the screen, clearing the enemies before they come on, not allowing them to, you know, drop their bombs. Oh no. What is nice though is they do spawn life gems when you kill them, so. But again, you know, this is a moving train. You got snow, you got ice, you got all sorts of factors that want to stop you from being able to get through this. You can get crushed by the wall. I don't know what it is, maybe because I'm getting older or something, but a lot of the new games use like a shaking screen thing on top of the vibrating controller, you know, to kind of add a different level of whatever realism or whatever you want to call it, involvement. See, right now I'm falling behind, so this guy's going to be harder to kill up here. Oh man, I need that life gem probably. Hope it doesn't cost me. And here's where the screen stops, so you can kind of chill out there. Oh yeah, okay. But yeah, the shaking screen, in some games you can turn it off, which is nice, but the shaking screen, sometimes it gets to me, man. Okay, so this guy has a couple phases, and what you want to do is you want to stay right here for that phase. I don't think he'll break into another phase until you start hitting him, and I think it's dependent on where his life total's at. He might open up here. No, okay. So you can kind of tell when he's going to go to the next phase. He jumps back in his box. So here's either going to be a punching glove or a missile. And this is basically, that's what you want to do for the missile. Then you got to get back up. Get back up in his guard, let's call it. And this is about it for his phases, so you don't really even need to rush it. You can just chill, and then this should be, yeah, okay, that's the easy one to dodge. So pick your poisons on when you want to do this damage, but it's simple. I mean, he's easy. The conveyor belt is annoying, right? But let's hope it's a punching glove. Okay, so I don't know if you're at a certain distance, maybe? He always does the punching glove. So it's possible there's a trick there as well to stay close enough, but again, you know, if you can't really tell what it's coming out, you might get hit by it. So just, you know, he's simple. That level's not super tricky. There's those couple spots I showed you. But getting back to the bosses is always a pain. I think level 3 is by far the most difficult level. Boss is easy enough. But right now we're going to be on the last level. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. And we're back. Old Jimmy Fallon. Okay, so much like a castle level in your Mario. Now these skeletons are tricky. If you don't land on them just right, they hurt you. So you gotta be careful with that, and that's key on the last boss. So right here, the easiest way I found to do this, you wait for that first fireball to be heading down. Oh, but see, oh, okay, we got lucky, but then you also have to time that skeleton. And like I said, with this level, you're going to be running it so much trying to kill this last boss that this might be your best bet for trying to do the no damage level, completing the level without damage, without dying, all that. Like I said, you're going to get familiar with this level. I think it probably took me 2 hours, not consistent 2 hours, but you know, probably at least 10 runs to try and hit this boss, because this boss, unlike all the other bosses, is random. So the stuff he does isn't necessarily random, but oh no, leave me alone. Maybe I should go get that potion. Oh, what do you think? Nah. Ooh. So yeah, that's just what makes the boss the most difficult, and we'll get into that here when we get a little closer. But as you're seeing, these are just kind of you'll get this. Oh man, gonna say how good I was at this level, but jeez. Okay, so this is where I was having a lot of trouble. Is this next part coming up? I could not get the second whip to happen, and like I said, once I started kind of holding it, it made all the difference. So push and hold the square button, and you should be fine. You can actually time that first fireball better too, but you have to be right out the door. Oh, and you can time that too, so. And then the next room is the final boss. Short level, right? But, you know, when you're trying to get through it, take a little longer. So like I said, okay, so there's going to be 3 phases of this boss. He has 3 major mechanics he does. The first one is always the lightning, so you want to be close in his guard. It always summons it the same distance, but it's kind of hard to judge that distance once he gets going. The second and most annoying part of his mechanic is he summons 3 orbs, and they're heat-seeking, and they're really hard to dodge, and he disappears and reappears. So this is almost a timing, luck of the draw situation where it's a possibility that maybe you can, you know, every time find a way to no-hit the boss, but I don't think so. I think it's kind of like a random chance, and some of your chances are going to be better than others. So just realize that, fight the boss to the best of your ability, and once you get hit, just start over. And then his third phase is he summons the skeletons, and you're going to see those. And like I said, trying to jump on their heads is great and all, but sometimes if you're not in the right exact pixel, it'll hit you. So I don't recommend that. I recommend whipping them. Do not jump on them. And then a fourth and final phase, he summons an electrical shield toward the end of his, maybe the last like quarter of his bar. But as you can see there, that was the first phase. You want to get these shots in when you can, and then you got to try to like, see, because he appeared right there, and when that happens, you're just kind of screwed. You want to hope that he goes further away, because to get rid of those orbs, you got to kind of like, you know, you got to make him chase you around, and hope he disappears so you can jump over him. But see, you do that, and you're done. So that's no good. And then here's his third. Hopefully he does lightning again, but I think he's going to do orbs. So your best bet is to try to get him to chase you like that. And then he does this little disappearing act thing. He might summon lightning, and if he does, See, and the other thing is if you jump off their heads, he might boost you into that. And when he's in this phase, oh no. So orbs, so see, here we go. And you just have to hope he doesn't summon right there, which he did. So at this point, if you haven't taken hits, you want to hope he goes into the lightning. He almost always summons the skeletons after the orbs if they're down. So here's where you hope he does lightning. And if, like I said, if you haven't taken hit up to that point, bada bing, bada boom, you're good. And that is how you would hypothetically no-hit that boss. If the orbs mitigation is key on that, you must control them, and you have to hope that he kind of goes over to the side, and you know, but you don't want to stay too far away from him when he does that, because if he summons the lightning, it's really hard to gauge where it is. And that's what you get. Not a lot of credits, not a lot of anything. Um, let's give these guys their due. Yeah, and that's Whipseey and the Lost Atlas Platinum Trophy Guide, brought to you by Brothers Forge Gaming. I did have a good time playing this, and as you can see, Blowfish Studios right there, they do make some decent games. So great price, $5.99, available as a download in the PlayStation Store. 11.7% platinum on this one, guys, so there's a big drop off after, you know, most of the trophies are pretty easy to get, but doing the clearing all the bosses, which one is that? Pink Justice. That is probably the one where the drop off is the most. Oh, no, the boss, sorry. The boss. Clear all bosses without taking damage. That's where the big drop off is. I think it goes from around like 30% down to 11%. So hopefully that information will help you there. And I believe it's that last boss too that gets people the most. And like I said, it's because he's random, and the way you have to kind of control the situation there and just kind of cross your fingers and hope for the best. And like I said, if it's a 1 out of 10 opportunity where you can actually have a fighting chance to clear him without taking damage, that's what you got to go for. You just got to bang your head into the wall till you get through, and that's kind of the strategy on that last boss there. Other than that, hopefully those tips will help you. I know I didn't hit them. I did earlier. I got the platinum, I promise. You can check us out, Brothers Forge Gaming on the PlayStation Network. Look us up on YouTube. I'd like to say thanks for stopping by. Like I said, I hope this guide really helps you. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments, let me know. We'll have some more Platinum Trophy guides to come. We have a playlist as well on our site if you guys want to check that out. I think I've done about 20 some odds of these things, and I got a couple more to come. Recnum, which was a pretty nasty little platformer, but a cool game with some nice hand-drawn animation, making it all worth it just to get through it, to see that at the end. I don't think I'm going to beat that for you guys, but you know, I'll just show you a little tidbit of that and then give you some info on that. And then Siberian, the Time-Traveling Barbarian, game by Radaliki. I can never say that right. Anyway, they do a lot of fun mini games like this too, but I don't know. I feel like they're overextending these days and their quality's dipping. But yeah, we'll bring that one, talk about that. So look forward to that. And like I said, check out our playlist if you want to find some more games to get platinums on and some tips on how to do that. You've been hanging out with Brothers Forge Gaming. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.